Haha, people, what's going on? BPhife here, back at you. NBA 2K18, and we're going to also compare it with NBA Live 18. Excuse me, I'm about to say 2K18. But first off, I want to say, hey, I picked my boy Lonzo Ball. What's up, Lonzo? It's just been it's been fun to watch him play. I mean, it's been a couple weeks. Watching him play his games and stuff like that. Hey, you know, I normally don't feed into the hype or whatever the case may be, but he's definitely, um, he definitely has the vision and the passing skills like Magic. You know what I mean? And I mean that says a lot. Jason Kidd, Steve Nash. These were all great passers with visions and all that other stuff. But but this, like they said, the size of Lonzo. That's what kind of makes him a little different from the latter part of the people that I mentioned, John Stockton, all of that. But anyway, but another thing I want you to pay attention to is look at the movement of 2K models when you're just kind of just doing a couple of things. Now, one thing is whenever a new offering comes out from 2K, before we when you first get it and you're trying to evaluate whether or not you're going to buy the new the latest and greatest. First thing is, how does it feel? People always want to know how it feels. Does it feel fluid? Do you have control? A lot of the things people complain about 2K is like it feels jerky. Now, since of late, it's been getting a lot better as far as in people don't say it's as robotic as it used to be. They've been throwing a lot of animations at this game, so there's a lot of animations that should, try to smooth out, so to speak, all of those herky-jerky moments. Now, this particular year, 2K was saying, hey, we don't want to be tied and bound to animation. So they have a new engine that's trying to make it pretty fluid. Okay. However, there are moments in this game where, and you can see how he's kind of sliding around and moving or whatever the case may be. And what this video is designed to do, and my purpose of this video is to kind of maybe explain what it is that you feel, but show you what you feel. Ooh, look at that move. Just to show you what you're feeling that you may or may not put into words, because not everyone will take the time to figure out why the game feels jerky, but that's what this video is about. We're going to do 3 animations, and we're going to do a light walk, we're going to do a jog, and we're going to do the turbo. Okay, and hopefully developers can look at this on both sides, 2K and live, and see how they stack up, how other people feel about their games, and see what either one of them do well or either one of them don't do well. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the light walk. So first of all, let's start off by saying Lonzo Ball looks great, man. I mean, the likeness of him, the likeness, people, not that he looks great, pause. The likeness of him looks great in this game. He's got his big baller brand shoes on in the game, so definitely 2K pays attention to detail. So let's take a look at his walk, and let's just see how his movements, his animations pan out here. So from a dead stop, that that's kind of weird. Now that's the first thing that I notice is look at his feet, how they do some weird kind of like push back, how his arms go. I mean, his body leans unnaturally forward. Excuse me, and it just doesn't look very organic right there. It looks a little forced. It looks like maybe they were, have a little trouble, a little execution issue with, with the animations from this position. And I have another video where it says 2K still struggles with acceleration or something like that. Go ahead and take that look at that video. It's just probably a little more in depth on that. I go in a little bit more. But anyway, as you can see, the foot planting here, and it's the first thing that I know is pretty much an eyesore, just in this short period of time. And this is probably this is a prime example of why when you play the game, it feels weird. Like there's moments of jerkiness and all that stuff is because of moments like this, is what you don't see but you feel it, and you subconsciously see it when you're playing. But everything's happening so fast that you don't have time to see that his foot basically is sliding all over the floor instead of just digging in and foot planting. See, as you can see, has his foot sliding. So this is going to happen throughout the walk. You can take a look at it. It's almost as if he's, look, right here is a perfect example. It's almost as if he's walking on some type of a moving sidewalk. Like, what is that? It just looks terrible. It's an eyesore. Like, that's not real. Those aren't real organic movements. And that's why 2K has that reputation of just these weird moments of control. You know what I mean? And here's proof of what you're feeling and what you believe. Okay, so share that with your friends. If you don't know what you're trying to explain it to somebody, if they should get the game and you don't really know how to explain it, just go ahead and let people take a look at this video, and I'll explain it for you. But yeah, it looks like they're walking on some type of a moving sidewalk or something like that, or a treadmill. It looks terrible. But let's not spend all the time on foot planting, although that is a big thing with this animation. It's pretty bad. 2K needs to definitely take another look at that. One more thing before I get off that, I have a video or several videos where I explain what I call BPhife's Big Three. Okay, and what this is basically, three main principles that developers should stand by. Not just sports developers. Now, I'm more of a sports kind of guy, but any type of developer. Okay, and the first one, the acronym is VET. Okay, VET, and the V is for vision. Can the developer give you the vision of what they're trying to portray? In this particular situation, 2K is trying to portray basketball, and I think they do a great job generally with showing us basketball. For example, as he's walking right here, just some of his mannerisms. He looks alive. He blinked right there. Just the mannerisms again, how he's dribbling this ball. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. Like I was talking about his mannerisms. I think I just pressed the wrong button. But like I was talking about his mannerisms, how he looks around, he's blinking. Um, you know, it's pretty crazy how he just how they pay attention to detail. Just a little skip, a little hop skip. And that's what a basketball player would do, in this particular situation. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at. I like the animation. I just don't like the foot plan. But let's take a look at the light jog. Did I see something with the basketball? No, that's cool. All right. All right. So here we are. We're going to take a look at the light jog from a dead stop position. Um, and this is me putting the left thumbstick as far as it can go, not light pressure like on the last one. Let's take a look at what Lonzo Ball looks like with a light jog. Now, as you can see, once again, foot planting is the problem. Okay, but we're not going to harp on it. We already did. You could probably see more of it, but look at the animation. The animation looks really nice. As he comes out, I would like to have seen some type of acceleration a little bit, but I guess because of the way his feet were moving, the animations weren't really, you know, didn't really fit, weren't really organic. And then going back to that leads me to the E in the VET that I was explaining. The E stands for execution. Okay, and 2K, as you can see, are having a hard time executing the foot planning, like we mentioned, and then right there, some stitching of animations or branching of animations. They have a little problem, whether that be in his movement, his lower half movement, or sometimes you'll see it in the basketball. But I want to point out something that just shows you like where 2K's head is at. Look at Lonzo as he's jogging lightly, and he's looking around. Whoa, he looked around. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty slick, man. I mean, that right there shows awareness. Like he's not just looking forward. This isn't like the old school Nintendo or Sega where he just looks forward and you just shoot the basket. No, there's awareness. 2K is showing you that these guys are alive. I think we saw that he blinks. I mean, just again, the mannerisms are just impeccable on 2K. This is why we sometimes put up with nonsense, that 2K delivers, is because there's so many other things that just make you feel so good when you're playing the game. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the turbo, and then we'll get out of here and go over to live. Okay, so we're at full court here because I wanted to give us an opportunity to see him accelerate, full court range. So let's take a look at again from the dead stop position, how he starts. That was much better than the other two, although it still doesn't look organic. I do like how the sneakers bend and all this other stuff. Definitely looks a little bit better. The foot planting is still a problem. Okay, but we're not gonna go there. We've already ridiculed the foot planting. It really can't come back. 2K has a problem with foot planting. But let's take a look at the animation. I love how he gets low to show acceleration. I love that right there. That is beautiful. That's beautiful. He shows acceleration. Now, what would be really nice is see if that foot planting is, again, I'm sorry, I'm going back to it, but if the foot planting was really solid, you could see the push off and it would mean something. The push off and the acceleration would really mean something. So by not having the proper foot planting takes away from a beautiful animation like this, a beautiful mocap session, and just almost you know, turns the milk a little sour. It's just a couple days before it's about to go sour, and you get that smell. That's what the animation is. It would be really good, if it was a couple days early, just to give you an analogy. But again, the animation is beautiful. His arm movement is great. He's in stride right now, so the foot planting seems to be a little bit easier. There was a little problem with the basketball right there. Or was there? No, 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 actually, it's not bad. But yeah, animation looks great. Now, I want to point out something. Is at full speed. I want to notice that he's not aware like he was when he was jogging. Did you notice that? So it's kind of a trip. So it's like where they paid attention to detail one place, they forgot to put it somewhere else. So just one of those things where you know every little bit, and that's fine. So they do have flaws as we're pointing out. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at live. We'll do the same animations on the other side, and I'll see you there. All right, everybody. Welcome to NBA Live 18. Welcome to this side. I'm glad you could make it. Now, ooh, that was a nice move. I don't think I've ever seen that one actually. But let's go ahead. Let's show you some of the movement here. Just some of the random movement. Just moving joysticks in different directions, just so you can see the fluidity of the player models and player characters over here on live. One thing I do notice is they're a little bit more responsive on this side. A little quicker. But again, that's why we're doing this video to kind of break down these movements and see what really is the difference. Ooh, greeny. All right, so let's get started. Oh, before I forget, now I know if you saw that hot thumbnail, shout out to my boy JBJ2K. He makes 2K videos, but he hasn't made it in about a year or so. I don't know if he's gonna get back on it, but he gave me that thumbnail, and what you saw in there was that dinosaur. And 2K has an Easter egg, man. They have a dinosaur animation, which we're gonna get into. So let's go ahead. Let's do the same three animations: the walk, the run, and the turbo. Okay, so we got Lonzo Ball here. He's going to demonstrate the walk in live here from a dead stop. Now, foot planting is first thing I'll notice. You know me, I'm on that foot planting because that's part of the movement. That's the basis, that's the foundation of the animation. And I'm okay with that. However, um, in order for that to be completely 100% believable, I would think you would almost have to jump up a little bit and then set your feet and then start. But if you notice, look at that right leg. That right leg, uh, watch this push off. I like that. I like that right there. That looks beautiful. Look at his. Look at the left foot. How it's just beautiful, right? That looks really nice right there. Okay, watch the foot planting here. Stays in one spot. Whereas what 2K sliding all over the place like this. It's just a slippery like instead of parquet or basketball floor, it's like a bowling alley. Anyone that bowls knows how slippery and oily those lanes are, and that's what 2K has. Just slippery lanes, bowling alley lane floors. But as you can see. Uh, Lonzo doesn't have his big baller brand shoes, but he definitely has foot planting here in live. Look at that. It just looks really good. Looks really good. The foot planting looks really good so far. Boom, boom, boom. Just beautiful. Now, notice the animation. Little acceleration. Then he gets up right here and just nice little stride. I like it. I like it. And then all of a sudden, here it is, guys. The evolution from man to primal to dinosaur. There's your Easter egg, guys. Look at this guy looking like a raptor or a T-Rex. He basically goes from some type of, basketball player into an ape, into a dinosaur. What is this, man? Look at this. Let me show you this at full speed. This is terrible. EA developers, if you're watching, take this out on the next patch. Do us a favor. We are not trying to see this because you know what? Here's the thing. A lot of times with live, there's just these funky moments, and they just stink with the animations, and I can see why. Again, this is why the video is here, so you can see what it is that you feel when you say 2K. I mean, I'm sorry, live movement is terrible. Look at this. This doesn't. I don't think this was mocap. I think this part was mocapped, and then all of a sudden, somehow, computer generated. With computers or whatever. They tried to make an animation of some type of athletic animation. Look at him. He looks like a freaking T-Rex or a raptor. This is terrible. This is awful. This is just awful. But anyway, hey, I just want to let you guys know there's your Easter egg. All right? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the light jog. Okay, so Lonzo Ball is going to show us the light jog in live 18 here from a dead stop here. Once again. Now, you know, again, I would like to see like him jump up to set his feet with the foot planting. So we already been through that. Good foot planting here, very consistent. The animation looks good. Okay, looks similar to what we saw with the walk. You're gonna get the dinosaur again. You're gonna get the dinosaur. So basically, this is a sped up version of the walk. Okay, and again, you're gonna get that dinosaur. I just don't know why it's in there, but hey, that's your Easter egg. But let's get out of here. Let's just take a look at the turbo, and then let's wrap this up. All right, so Lonzo is about to do our final animation. This is the turbo. This is where I got the right trigger and I'm moving the left thumbstick all the way over. The first one was light pressure for the walk. The other one was all the way pressure for just thumbstick only for the jog. And again, just this is the turbo right here. We'll do it in regular view. Now you notice real quick, check this out. Notice that there isn't, you don't get your Easter egg. So not with the turbo. Now I would bet a lot of money that it was a complete mocap session right there. Now check this out, and I'm glad that we are here. But remember I was talking about those other foot planting starts. I would like to see him jump. Well, look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. See how he jumped into that position and then pushed off the acceleration? This is beautiful. Live, I will say this about Live. Live has beautiful foot planning. They've executed, like I said, remember, vision, execution. Now, I never told you what T was, but the execution for the foot planning here for live on foot planting is a lot more consistent. I give kudos to these guys for definitely connecting the feet with the ground and not, making them seem like he's on a treadmill, on a moving sidewalk, slipping all over banana peels or oily bowling alley, which 2K has done. So their execution on that is very poor. But as you can see, live is just they've taken that challenge head on and said, "Hey, we can do it. We can do it." So if I know they can do it, 2K, there's no excuse. But anyway, foot planning is beautiful here. The animation is great on this one. With the start, you got to get low. If you're going to accelerate, you're going to push off. Just looks good. Nice strides, arm movement, everything is beautiful. It's beautiful. Now, I want to kind of go back and maybe shine a light on 2K on something that they do well that Live is not doing. Now, notice in any of these animations, the models just kind of look straight and they just do whatever it is that they do. They don't look around. They're not aware, like whereas the other one, I believe it was in the jog animation where it was really noticeable. You could see Lonzo looking around and trying to survey and probably do some type of a play make, create some type of a play. So here it's just straight animation, but it's a good animation. This is probably the cleanest animation, from animation to foot planning that we've seen in this video. So, kudos to them on this. But although I do that dinosaur animation just ruins it, so the light jog and the walk is terrible. It's terrible. So, animations, we'll wrap this up here. So, animations for live, are pretty bad. Foot planning, very consistent, does a great job. And with 2K, you don't you get great animations, you get detail, you get um, their players look alive, dynamic, everything, but their foot planning is atrocious. I'm gonna say it, it's atrocious. Compare if Live can put together consistent foot planning and connect their feet to the ground, why can't 2K? You know what I mean? So there's really no excuse if 2K is really that far and superior over Live. So there's no excuse if that's the case. If we're all saying, most people are saying that Live is 2K is light years better than Live. Well, in the foundation of the animation, doesn't look like it. Looks like Live is actually, is hanging with them, if not beating them, which they are, in my opinion. But let me go ahead. Let me bring up what the T was in my VET. Okay, my BPhife's big three. So vision, execution, tools. Okay, we definitely need tools in order to play these games. That's the button controls, the right settings, camera angles, etc., etc. Anything that helps enhance the experience mechanically, and that's what the tools are. So. Hey, thanks for watching. Now when you're playing the game, you look at the movement, you can actually explain why it is that Live, looks funky because of the dinosaur, because the dinosaur animation. You can explain why 2K looks funky because their foot planning is horrible. Look at that, there's a greenie right there. But then you can also say that the animations for 2K look good. Every now and then there's a little hiccup with the stitching between animations because there's a lot of animations to put together. But as you can see, Live just pretty much falls flat when it comes to animations. But anyway, it's your boy BPhife. I'll be back with more comparisons between Live and 2K. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Hey, get busy in the comments below. Tell me what you saw. Did I miss something? Is there something that you would like me to, talk about between Live and 2K? Because I'm playing both. So, anyway, I'll holler at you guys later. Look at that greenie.